Hello and welcome to Kalamazoo and You. This is a program where we have conversations of city events and issues and activities. And I'm Mike Smith. I'm the communication manager for the city of Kalamazoo. And we're here on site at the Arcadia Creek infrastructure project. And the backdrop is the Kalamazoo campsite under construction. And with us to talk about the Arcadia Creek Phase Zero project, Dennis Randolph, who is the city engineer. Public Works Manager.
Yes.
So great to have you with us to talk about this. So talk about why this is important project, Phase Zero.
Phase Zero is important for a couple of reasons. One, it addresses flooding, and it's a beginning component of our Protect grant, which is intended to help the Arcadia Creek all along its length down to Oliver Street by Western Michigan University. There's been flooding problems, recurring flooding problems, because the creek was encased over years and it doesn't meet modern hydraulic standards, I guess is the best way to put it. So we want to correct that. There are storm sewers that run under homes right now, and we don't want to have that. The other part that's important is that for the event center, we wanted to be able to move the floodplain away from the new event center building as much as possible. And this project moves the floodplain from the east side of Westinge to the west side. People may say, well, that isn't a lot. But that adjustment, along with fixing the grades of the sewer, really protects the new event center, protects the homes in the area, protects the street. And so, again, those are the two big reasons. The other reason is that it fits into our two-way conversion projects on Michigan and Kalamazoo, and improvements we're still going to be doing on Stadium Drive to make our traffic more convenient for folks, a lot safer, and just allow better circulation to help economic development in the city.
All this is possible with federal grants. So talk about that and how that plays into the picture here.
Sure, over the past 3 or 4 years, we've been able to receive grants from the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, or IIJA also. We have almost $100 million of grants to do our two-way conversions, and a Protect grant, which is what this project is associated with, which is a $38 million grant to pay for sewer work and help us finish up some road work that's there and to set up the city well into the future.
How bad has the problem been of flooding in this particular area?
Sure. Over the years, there's been repeated instances where the area is flooded. That's one of the reasons that it's been encased a little bit at a time to try to deal that. But unfortunately, the sewers that were built, the encasements, weren't large enough to handle the flows, and especially with a changing climate, there's more precipitation, more intense precipitation, and those sewers and the hydraulics of those sewers just don't work. So we're going to be enlarging the sewers here, starting with Phase Zero, significant number of times, I think 12 times the capacity, so that we can handle the flow. We're also going to be doing something similar on the Portage Creek side in the future. The Corps of Engineers is going to be helping us with that project. So we're addressing flooding that's plagued this city probably since the time it was first inhabited by European settlers, and probably even before then. And again, it helps not only people who live here, but certainly for economic development purposes. People don't have to worry about their businesses being flooded.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. Was people will say, well, you're doing this on this side of downtown or this side of the Kalamazoo area, but not in other areas of the city.
You know, and the real reason is that the Corps of Engineers went in and pitched for money from Congress to work on the Portage Creek side, and now we'll encourage them, and we did a lot of work. Director Baker had developed ideas and plans, and they ran with it, which is great. It's a big job. It's going to be very expensive to have the Corps working on it. It's good for the city, and we're able to take care of kind of an important job, but isn't as massive in terms of dollars and total undertaking.
Now we have the Kalamazoo Event Center that's being constructed behind us here. How does all of that play into what's happening with the creek and the infrastructure with it?
Again, by fixing the creek and its grades, moving the floodplain, we're moving potential flooding of the event center away from the building. Again, and also houses and other businesses in the area. That's very important. We can't have an event center with thousands of people that might be interrupted by flooding if it rains hard. So I think it was really an important step for the event center to say, now's the time to go. You know, we dreamed of the event center for years, but with our road improvements, which will make traffic a lot better and safer around the center, the floodplain improvements will make things a lot safer for folks, that the time was really right for them to make a massive investment in downtown.
So we're going to go over and take a look at that right now. And you can show us, and maybe your colleague Tom Palumbo, who's civil engineer for the city of Kalamazoo, to talk about that.
That sounds good.
Okay. We're here at the site of the downtown arena, and we're also located at the culvert, the new culvert for the Arcadia Creek. And with us to talk about this segment of the project is Tom Palumbo. You are the senior civil engineer for the city of Kalamazoo. So talk about what we're looking at right here.
Yeah, so you're probably thinking this doesn't look like Westnedge as you know it. Right now we've got everything dug up to put a brand new culvert underneath Westnedge. That is phase 0 of the Protect Grant project of the reconstruction of Arcadia Creek. And what phase 0 does is it sets the stage for everything that is to follow, everything that's coming upstream. So right now we're just upstream from what you might think of as the canal that carries Arcadia Creek through downtown Kalamazoo. We're just upstream from that. We're just downstream from the rest of our future project that's in the works right now.
Dennis Randolph talked about the flooding problem that existed before all this began. So what does this mean for the issue of flooding and then what's going to happen in the future?
So right now, this is all floodplain right now. That means every single person who lives in this area, in the neighborhood behind us here, the Catholic diocese, all the businesses, apartments, everything is all in a floodplain. It's all at risk of flooding, for one thing, and then also is required to purchase flood insurance. This project is going to eliminate that floodplain by providing more capacity, by getting rid of a bottleneck that we have in Arcadia Creek. The nice thing about Arcadia Creek is it's not subject to the Kalamazoo River rising and backing up. It sits a nice amount higher than the river, so it can flow in even if the Kalamazoo River is really high. That's something that makes it different from Portage Creek and from some other areas around the city, like Davis Creek also. Arcadia Creek, as long as it's constructed the right way, as long as it's in the correct environment, it will not have a flooding problem. And this project is going to get rid of that flooding problem going up a very long ways.
That's the purpose of all this right here that we see.
Correct.
All right, so Tom, we're at the location where Michigan meets Kalamazoo Avenue and Michigan Avenue on the other end. What does the Michigan project mean for what we're seeing here today?
Yeah, we just last year finished reconstructing and also realigning Michigan. That means it's in a slightly different location than it used to be. Not very noticeable as you're driving down it, but what we did is we left more room along the roadway so that we can do culvert work down alongside Michigan when we move on to the next phase of this project. Right now, the floodplain, if there is a flood, the way that it drains is Michigan basically acts like a river, as does Eleanor Street over here. And since that's where the water's flowing right now, we're just going to be able to build a channel there. And that's going to be the new path for floodwater. And as the floodwater drains, it'll be at a lower elevation. That means no flooding for homeowners in this area.
So Dennis, what does this project mean for nearby students at K College and Western Michigan University and downtown?
Sure. For years, it's been difficult, if not safely impossible, for students to walk downtown. It just wasn't a good condition. This project, phase 0, and then the subsequent phases 1, 2, and 3, will be completed with a trail that can be used for bicycling and walking. And students at Western Michigan and at K College will be able to safely walk directly right to where we're standing almost. And again, people downtown can walk back the other way. So it's really making connectivity between our great educational resources and our downtown, which is going to be rejuvenated by all these projects.
It's wonderful things to hear about downtown, as well as for people nearby and the students as well.
Yes, yeah, it's great. It's, again, we're planning for the next 100 years, and that's a big part of the plan.
So in addition to some of the things that we've seen so far, Dennis, you have some other parts of the project or aspects of the project that you'd like to talk about as well.
Sure, because as we do our transportation-related projects right now and our event center-related projects, there are a lot of other infrastructure needs for the city. For example, as part of this work, you're going to see a new 24-inch water main installed. There's going to be a 42-inch sanitary sewer involved. All along Kalamazoo and Michigan Avenue, we'll be doing the conversions from one-way to two-way, and they will have new storm and sanitary sewers. We're going to be going back down Stadium Drive and completing our trail and a new interchange or intersection at Lovell and Stadium Drive. So this is a really key part. It's almost in the middle of everything we're doing. But I think what's important is that we are doing as much as possible. When we go into an area and start digging and doing work, we take care of all the infrastructure that needs to be built. And that's what's important too, as it keeps problems down for people who want to travel or come to work. And in the end, we end up with a better quality project.
And all these are very important projects to the city and to the future of Kalamazoo.
Yeah, we're building for the next 100 years. It's as simple as that, not 50, not 25. We're looking for the next century.
Okay, Dennis, thank you very much. And that ends our segment, and thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time on Kalamazoo and You.